All right, let's take a look at our two futures trades today. First one caught me in a bear trap. This cotton picking thing looked like it was going to go down right here. Look at it. It's downtrending. It had these pintails, had this pintail here, this weakness over here. It started to consolidate and break down, and as soon as I got short on it, broke the trend line coming up too, by the way, right? So there was a trend line coming up this way. Yeah. So right there, it was a beautiful setup in my opinion. Sometimes even the best setups are not going to work. Yesterday was a big giant drop down, and today it's trying to retrace some of that, and I thought it was ready to roll over here at the 23 or 38% Fibonacci level with that pintail. I guess shorting it up higher would have been better, but it just simply did not want to go. So here's what it looks like on a closer up scale here. Let me show you. Here's what it looks like closer up. We had a two try to buy and fail consolidation. So it's a reverse two try sell pattern. It's a two try buy pattern where the buyers try to buy and get rejected, try to buy, get rejected, consolidates and pushes. So that's another reason why I wanted to. It was breaking the moving averages, and it had a two try buy pattern, consolidation, push, and literally just reversed right as I bought it. I stopped at the structure, which is usually the best place for me there, and got stopped out. The second trade, let's look at the second trade now. The second trade was coming off of, now you can see over here where I had gotten stopped out of the first trade. And then we're going to look at the second trade. I ignored it through all this whipping and chopping, and it took off up to the top right here. And it literally hit the 62% Fibonacci. 62% Fibonacci. And once it did that, I saw the break of the trend line. We have a trend line break on that thing. Right here's a closer look. And it broke the trend line, and I shorted on that red candle right there. It almost came back up, and it gave us a double top. And it really came right down and ticked me in for my target. I couldn't ask for a better. I mean, it got me on that last tick. I guess sometimes we get ticked out on a stop loss, and sometimes we get our profit on a tick as well. And that's exactly what happened here before it went up and kept going up. So we did catch that. So that was a full win. So that was the second trade we did today. Two futures trade. Now let's take a look at the third losing NVIDIA trade today. Well, let's start by looking at, I guess, which picture should we look at? You can see here it was about to break out, and this is the 60-minute chart, and it was about to break out. It was breaking out over yesterday's high, breaking out. It's above all of the moving averages, so I was going to use my moving average strategy, which says as long as price is above all the moving averages, and all the moving averages are in agreement with one another and heading in the same direction, meaning the 8, the 20, the 50, and the 100 are all lined up perfectly, then I can take a trade on all time charts. The 2-minute, the 5-minute, the 15, and the 60 have to line up. But the problem here is the 15 was out of whack, and I allow for one to be out of whack, but two of them were out of whack. The 60 had the 8 coming underneath the 20. So that did not work out. And later on in the day, the 20 had crossed up, and the whole thing went right up like it's supposed to, right? So because the 15 and the 60 were both not synced up properly, it's okay to have the 15 out of whack if the ones around it are all synced. It's okay to have one of these out of whack, like the 5-minute even, as long as all the others are in sync. So one of them can be out of sync, but I had two of them out of sync. That was the major problem here. So let's take a look at what happened. It went up, started to break out, and came all the way down. I tried to add, see if it would go long at Fibonacci, and I just broke out on that piece, and I had to finally break out at the bottom of structure. It didn't go to the below the low of the day, but it did go down lower than this even. It kept going down. So I'm glad I at least stopped out here. I got to rethink my breakout trades to where I'm not getting stopped out so cotton picking far down. Perhaps this pintail right here would have been enough for me to understand that if it goes lower than that, look at this the way these candles are forming right here, that would be my get out right there. And I didn't, but my idea on this was to add and build my position, and so I held it. I was thinking surely it won't go all the way down here. And when I did add and it didn't work, that's when I knew I was in trouble, and I didn't even try to add anymore. I just realized that let's just get out. So I was planning on adding up to 5, but it didn't work. I found out it was going to keep going. Got out of the trade, and probably could have stayed in this trade for later and did some adding and stuff. But I just changed my mind. I guess changing my mind, maybe I shouldn't do a position size up strategy. Maybe I'm not ready for that, really. Just stick to the entry, exit, stop loss, and save that stuff for later when I get better. But here's the 15. Here's the 15 that was not. You see the moving averages are not in sync. The 8 and the 20 are right. They're both above the 50. That's good. But they're all 3 under the 100. And the 50's under the 200. So they're all mixed up. And it's okay if if the 15 is like this, as long as the others are doing okay for the moving average strategy. But like I said, the 60 was also not in line, and that's really what I think the problem was. Here's what everything looked like when I took the trade. You could see the moving averages. If you just use the 8 and 20, 8 and 20 look good, but then the rest of them, see how they're all lined up? You want that on all time charts if possible. So over here on the 15-minute chart, you got the 50 above the 100 and the 100 above the 20, above the 200. Those 3 are good. But then these drop down below. These should have been up over the 50, giving us a real good indication that, that we were in the right direction. Actually, these aren't too bad. Actually, this is not the problem right here. I don't think well, they are mixed up. It is mixed up, but that and this, or I'm getting picky, but I have to be, because it's a very powerful strategy if everything's perfect. The 8 is still under, and the very next candle it did make it. See, I got in on this pen tail here, and that means it was even worse than this candle. So I was way up here with the 8 under the 20, and sure enough, that was enough energy, negativity, to draw it back down and get it ready, so it gets more prepared as the moving average rotates in its proper position. And eventually it did go up over the high of all this, and it went way up top. It went up pretty high. So the timing is essential. The timing and entry for these moving average strategies have to be perfect. So live and learn on this one, okay? I'm going to make sure I drill that home on this video, that I don't make that mistake again when I'm using the moving average strategy, that I make sure that all the moving averages are in proper order in order for me to take that trade. So there's my trades for today. Hope I learn and get better. By the grace of God, peace.